Hey guys, just here to do another video for you today. This time we're going to talk about this out-of-control self-insert situation that we're seeing here. If you don't know what self-insert is, it's when a writer of a particular brand or IP or even just a new character makes that character essentially them. And sometimes that's just in looks, sometimes it's in looks and personality, or it's in looks and personality that they wish to project in their own lives but are likely unable to do so or they are not perceived by others to be at that level that they think that they're in. Now, one of the things that I'm going to mention just really briefly here that's really kind of peculiar about this is there are quite a few examples of this, and there's a few more I didn't include, but it's all women doing this, all female writers for some unknown reason. And I don't know if this is an insecurity thing, an ego thing, or a narcissistic thing. I think it depends on the individual, but I do find it interesting that it seems to be it's all females that are doing this. But of course the place to start off with this is Kathleen Kennedy, and Kathleen Kennedy takes over Lucasfilm, and we start to see that just sort of film after film after film has these, quote, strong female characters that are all brunettes, and actually that are all brunettes. And they all... So it does seem like a self-projection. I mean, I'm not saying that she's necessarily doing it on purpose. It's sort of like... It's like those... accidentally on purpose, right? And of course you have Rey from Star Wars, who essentially was flawless. Did not harm anyone, did not do anything wrong, did not sin, essentially, and was just ultra powerful without having to go through any kind of trials or anything, just sort of knew how to do everything. Then in Solo, you had Qi'ra, who was a somewhat interesting character, but again, didn't really have a flaw that I can think of, unless you determine that, seeking out money and stuff was a flaw. At the end of the film, she kind of joins the criminal enterprise of Darth Maul or whatever. She was ambitious and reached her goal. So I don't know, another strong female brunette. And then we had Jyn Erso from Rogue One. Again, a little more character development with her, but an extremely strong female character who in the end saves the day and is a brunette. It's just wow. And then another one, and then in Indiana Jones 5, Helena is Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, and she's the goddaughter of Indy, and she's very condescending to Indy, and very, I'm better than you, and pretty much has no flaws, and just, runs the show, and it's like another brunette. So, there you go. Kathleen Kennedy, self-inserting just all the time. And there's more. I mean, there's even in Willow, the main girl is a brunette, and she's difficult to listen to. Her attitude sucks. I don't know if KK just has been like put down by men her whole life or something like that, but like Steven Spielberg made fun of her and said she just brought her coffee, which of course she didn't. She's a very, very smart logistics person when it comes to a film. I've said this before. She's not a creative. When she gets involved in the creative, it creates problems. She creates, but it's problems. But where she's good is when a director has a bunch of scenes they want to put together and they want to make them as good as they possibly can. Kathleen Kennedy deals with a lot of the logistics of figuring out a way to do it and make it look as good as humanly possible on budget. And there's something to be said for that. Like, that's not some nothing thing. Like, it's not like she's an idiot. Like, she just isn't a very creative person, and self-inserting is kind of another example of a non-creative person. When you have to project yourself because you can't think of another idea, you lack creativity. And that brings us to Charisse Castro-Smith, and she wrote Enchanto, the animated movie, which I have not seen, so I'm not going to get into any kind of personality situations, but clearly self-insert. I mean, guys... what more do you need? It's about as obvious as it gets. And that brings us to the next one, which would be the I Am Not Starfire, Mariko Tamaki. And I mean, guys, could it be any more obvious? This is self-insert. This is a book. This is not a TV show or movie, but this is supposed to be Starfire's daughter. So you can see Starfire in the background. This is a fairly old character. And no, that is not Starfire's daughter. That's Mariko Tamaki. Just putting herself in there as Starfire's daughter. Starfire's daughter would not look like that. I'm sorry, that's not how genetics work. So and the character is very like she's very attitudinal. She swears a lot. She's like, is that how you are, Mariko Tamaki? Are you just like an angry person who cusses at people all the time and has a bad attitude? I mean, is that part of your personality? Is that why you wrote her like that? Because you sure made her look like you. I mean, really, guys, Starfire, that's her kid? Come on. This is nonsense. It's cringy enough when someone does a self-insert of a new character, right? Like that one. Like, obviously, that's not Starfire's daughter, but it is a new character. They didn't change an existing character and make a whole bunch of people mad. But when they self-insert in an established character in the universe, it's not only cringe, it's actually heinous. Like, if you can't be bothered to create your own self-insert, but have to change somebody else's established work, especially something really popular that's been around for a long time, you're taking it to the next level of just total heinous garbage. And we see that with Mindy Kaling from The Office, who wrote the new Velma series. I mean, I'm sure many of you guys have seen this online and stuff. This is the most obvious self-insert I can think of. It's completely changed the character to look just like her. Why? Because you just have to see yourself. Is that just pure ego? Are you insecure? And I will also mention that the Velma was a flop. Like, people did not like Velma. It did not get the viewership that people were expecting that it would. And, of course, going back, Indy 5 did absolutely terrible as well. So people are catching on to this, and they're not really liking it. Solo was a complete bomb as well. People are catching on to this stuff, and they're not liking it. They don't find it appealing at all. I don't actually know if Enchanto made any money or not. But then brings us to the final example I have here, and there are more, guys. I encourage you to look into this. But Bisha K. Ali led the writers on the Ms. Marvel TV show. And that's what Ms. Marvel looks like in the show. And that's what Ms. Marvel actually looks like in the comic books. And so I don't get this, okay? So you're telling me the studios are cool if you take an existing character and change them to look like you and be like you, but they wouldn't be cool with you writing a new character that looks like you and is like you? Why wouldn't they be cool with that? Like, why are we changing things to feed our own egos kind of thing? I mean, maybe these people aren't able to create a new character. Maybe that's the problem. They just aren't able to. I mean, say what you want about KK, but at least these are new characters that she's creating. They're crappy. They're boring. They're tedious to watch, but they are new. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Is this just like getting ridiculous? And why is it always women? And why is it psychologically that they seem to need, not them as in all women, but these particular women seem to need to have themselves projected into their works? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thanks for listening to this video, guys. Feel free to check out any of my other content. And if you did like this content, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thanks very much and have a good day.